Hello, my name is Michael Mirdad, and I'm honored to be part of this message of hope for 2012 and beyond. I would like to share some insights, my own personal insights about this particular time in our lives. If you're seeing this video, by the way, it means the world hasn't yet ended. Sorry, but I couldn't resist. Anyway, at this time in our evolution, we're confronted with a lot of dilemma, a lot of confusion, a lot of strife in this world and in what we can expect or not expect to see happening in our particular time and in this particular time. I believe you'll find a lot of messages coming from speakers, teachers, authors, even television programs that share ideas about doom and gloom. Other teachers, a little bit more perhaps New Age related, have a very positive message about this time. They might have a perspective that it's just going to be another day tomorrow and things are just going to be a little brighter. I guess my perspective is sort of a blend of the two. There's no doubt in my mind that messengers from throughout history, Aztecs, the Mayans, Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, Isaac Newton, even, of course, Mother Mary. And one of the most surprising is to hear Jesus, who has this infinite message of love and light in A Course in Miracles, sharing constantly that everything's an illusion and it's all about love and forgiveness and everything's all right. And yet that same Jesus told the channel Helen Schuckman when she wrote A Course in Miracles, and when she was scribing A Course in Miracles, that one of the reasons he was coming to her with this message was that the world, and I quote, was worsening at an alarming rate, end quote. And what this was saying to me anyway, in my interpretation, was that even though it may very well be an illusion, even Jesus was expressing concerns for the direction we were going or might continue to go. So as I see it, there is something definitely changing on planet Earth. Something very dramatic is going on at this time. And no time in history do I know of have we seen science, religion, philosophy, metaphysics, and all these various thought systems, ancient civilizations as well as modern technologies, agreeing on one particular thing. Nothing is going to be the same. Something very dramatic is happening on planet Earth and in our lives. So as I see it, one thing we must face is that there's a need for a spiritual fulfillment. There's a need for our internal lives to come together like no other time in history. Some of us believe in ancient civilizations, Atlantis, Lemuria, and so forth, and that they reached a demise, particularly because of their way of life, their greed, their selfishness, their warlike behaviors. And clearly we're heading the same direction. That is, unless something changes. So what we've tried to do throughout, especially the last generation, is make considerable changes. Pray for peace and love, wear peace beads, and sing songs of love and imagining that such things didn't have to happen on the earth. And yet, there is a progression still occurring that we have to face. I believe that what Jacques Cousteau said, actually, way back in the 60s, 70s, he said from a marine biologist standpoint, we were already too far gone. The oceans actually could not be saved. And that's very, very dramatic. It's a very dramatic statement, a very tragic statement in a sense. But he was saying from a scientific standpoint, it's a matter of math. He was saying that something's already happened, and it's just a matter of how long it's going to take to complete itself. So now we're looking at planetary alignments where we reach the center of the Milky Way galaxy. We see another sun flare cycle coming up soon, and all these various sciences and technologies, as well as ancient civilizations, are saying something is going to happen soon, and they all are agreeing, and that's what is of greatest concern to me. One thing I know is this: I do believe wholeheartedly that the world is going to continue to change. And the naysayers or the skeptics say, oh no, it's just another day. For example, when we look at the people that predicted changes at the end of the millennium, they said there are going to be dramatic changes, and of course those skeptics said no, and then it looks like nothing happened because the world didn't end. But really the world did change in a way that will never ever be the same. If you remember, just after the millennium we had the 9/11 tragedy. So nothing has been the same since, and the economy itself was triggered into a change because of that. I believe we're going to see more and more of the same things on planet Earth. I'm not trying to be negative, nor am I being a doomsday prophet. What I'm saying is this is the way of the world. This is the way we need to change. We can learn everything, anything, the easy way or the hard way. And we often have chosen the hard way. So like civilizations before us and for our own civilization, I believe we are going to see some things being learned the hard way. The great news is this: although some people, some teachers are saying it's just another phase, there's an ending, and that's true, there is another phase. But this is not just another phase, not another phase in geology, not another phase in science, not another phase in spirituality. This is a major quantum leap like we've never seen before. So the endings are, to me, part of a dismantling. And some of the things I can predict very easily, and I predicted some time ago, I predicted in the late 90s that we were going to see the end of religion as we knew it, and that's been happening, and it'll continue to happen. I also predicted the economy would soon collapse, and it did in a very major way, and it will not ever return to the way we once knew it. And that's all good. And the reason it's good is because they're all illusions. They're all false gods, so to speak. We are meant to find and discover, that is to say, discover ourselves. We're meant to find who we really are. And when we're caught up with things of this world, it's harder to find ourselves. So the things of this world we are creating to fall away from us. We're creating a dismantling at this time and in our lives. And that dismantling is going to lead us to our amazing end result, which is to become once again one with God. So I know it may sound dramatic, but this isn't just another phase. This isn't just another change. Yes, temporarily we are moving into a new dimension. That is a fact. We're moving into a new dimension, and how we can know that that's happening is because people are going to start experiencing not only external changes, but personal changes, such as greater levels of mental strain. People that were not near the edge are coming to the edge, mentally, emotionally. People that were at the edge are going over the edge, sometimes even into psychosis, because of the changes in equilibrium on the planet. Now, adding to that, people are also literally losing they're becoming disoriented because of them losing their equilibrium. Animals. Someone just emailed me today and said, Michael, thanks for your recent message, because in Hawaii, there are apparently herds of deer that are going off the land, off the cliffs, into the water and drowning, and people cannot understand why. They responded to a recent email I sent out, or a newsletter, announcing this, because this is going to continue happening. Whales are going to end up more and more beached. Animals are going into the ocean. Birds are flying into walls and so forth. This is tragic, but it's part of what's going on. The planet is shifting its poles, and that's setting off, sending wrong messages, incorrect messages to the minds and the systems of animals, mammals, and humans. So human beings are finding themselves to be more accident prone. They're tripping, they're falling, they're injuring themselves. This is because this is a gradual way for us to acclimate, even though it doesn't seem like we're acclimating very well. It's a gradual way for us to acclimate to the shifts that could very well be more sudden than they are. Then we would really have problems. And yet the truth is the poles are going to shift far more dramatically and faster as time goes by. 2012 is marking a new era. It is marking a new time for us, but it's marking us going into a new dimension, a new reality, a new experience, a new level of consciousness. Now, we could say it's going to be an easy shift, but it most likely, because of history, we can tell it'll probably be more of a dramatic shift eventually. It's already been dramatic, but it'll become probably even more dramatic. At some point, when the dust settles, literally and figuratively, when the dust settles, what I do know and believe is that this isn't going to be just another age. We're shifting into a place that even A Course in Miracles describes to us as a new level of consciousness. It's the right-mindedness. It's a in-between place between here, earth, and heaven consciousness. I've always taught that there are three worlds, so to speak: heaven, Eden, and earth. We've lived in the earth realm long enough, and what happened is we originally lived in heaven, descended into Eden, and then eventually, they say, fell to earth. Now what we're doing is ascending back into Eden. This isn't just a fourth dimension or a fifth dimension. It's even greater than that. It's Eden consciousness, which to me is not as important. It's important for me to emphasize that this isn't just fourth or fifth dimension. It's important instead to say this is halfway home. So we're not just going to go to the fourth or fifth dimension and live there, and then eventually the sixth dimension and so on. We're actually ascending back into God consciousness, and that's the greater message. It's not so much what's gone wrong historically, it's not so much what we're experiencing in the present day. The ultimate message is where we're going spiritually and personally, experientially in consciousness, and that's with God, back home with God, in heaven. But there will be a time period where we will, what the Christians call a new millennium. There'll be a time where we will be acclimating to that new consciousness, because we can't really go from just heaven, or rather from earth consciousness back into a totality of oneness with all that is. We're instead needing to step up one phase at a time, and that's out of 3 phases: earth to Eden, Eden to heaven. Thank you very much.